Thanks, Nate. Well, just days left before Saturday's referendum on a voice to Parliament, with those backing a no vote pretty confident of swaying public opinion their way as leading yes campaigners, including the Prime Minister, make a last-ditch appeal to voters. Referendum and voice correspondent Dan Borscher joins us now from Canberra. Good morning to you, Dan. What's going to be the focus of the next few days, do you think?
Lisa, good morning. Well, we know that millions, in fact more than 2 million Australians have already voted, and certainly those pre-polls are going to continue throughout this week. In addition to that, we're seeing a honing of the message from both sides of the campaign. The yes side is saying that this is about having a seat at the table, a voice to be listened to, a chance to, hopefully they say, deal with some of the intractable challenges that some Indigenous people face, and that this is, as they say, a modest request. The no side say that this is about division, and they say it will and is dividing Australia. They worry that it'll be another layer of bureaucracy that won't have any outcomes and will simply create more public servants and less action. So the no campaign say that there is risk with this. We've heard a whole range of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander perspectives, including Michael Mansell, who's the chair of the Aboriginal Land Council of Tasmania, who was speaking to you this morning. Here's a sense of what he thinks is at play right now.
The referendum will be defeated on Saturday. The Prime Minister has said that he's not going to legislate after the referendum for a voice to Parliament. And so what we need to start doing is looking at, well, from Sunday onwards, where do we go? We know that the Prime Minister has said is going to implement the Uluru Statement in full, and we also know that there are 19 close the gap targets that haven't been fulfilled, so there's plenty of work to do.
So that was Michael Mansell there with a very clear view about what's going to happen, but also saying there that the work really begins on Sunday, and there has got to be a way to bring those campaigners together and deal with, as he points out, some of those big challenges, particularly around closing the gap. Now, for his part, the Prime Minister says, and other members of government say it's not over yet, that campaigning will continue right up until 6 p.m. on Saturday, when every vote will be counted. We've also heard from Sally Scales, a Pitjantjatjara artist and leader who's also a member of the Uluru Dialogues, who was outlining on the ABC just why she believes that the voice and a voice to Parliament is crucial to create change.
The hope and the aspirations and the love from the Uluru Statement were saying, well, we need to be heard in this country about the issues that impact our communities. And for me, I know what it means to be voiceless in my community. I know when governments do not listen to us, when we tell them this is not going to work, you're actually not hearing us, and they go ahead and do it anyway, and we suffer the consequences. The issues that we currently see are because of that.
So Sally Scales there outlining why she believes a voice to Parliament is important and will be campaigning throughout this week. And of course, Lisa, we're also seeing an extraordinary response on social media where a lot of the campaigning is happening, which is also raising questions about safeguards, misinformation, disinformation, and the way that campaigning and campaign material is shared in this age of social media.
Dan, over the last 12 months and certainly over the last couple of months, you have travelled right across Australia. You've filed for almost every program on the ABC. You've spoken to so many people. What have you observed in the voice debate this year?
Yeah, it has been a very busy year, and I've observed quite a bit. So on one hand, I think that there was a very focused and clear pathway to a referendum last August. But since that time, we've seen two things happen. There has been an incredible amount of truth-telling from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people about the impacts of policies of the past, how they still have a resonating impact right now. And then on the other hand, we've actually seen this extraordinary level of racism and bigotry that is driving some people away from the debate and driving them out of this space altogether. And then there is a whole lot of Australians that I've been meeting from all walks of life who say they just don't understand, that they don't feel like they're across the detail. In fact, I had a call yesterday from a senior executive just days out saying, I'm not sure what to vote, can you give me the facts? And I said, well, this is what I've been talking about all year long. This is what this side's saying, this is what the other is saying. Or the young engineer I met last week who told me that he didn't realise we're having a referendum until 2 days earlier. So it's also shining a big spotlight on our civics and citizenship and the way that we talk about democracy and our constitution and our democratic values. And it's probably showing that we have a lot of work to do there, but there is certainly going to need to be a huge amount of work done in healing after Sunday, particularly given some of the racism and bigotry that we have seen, and that seems to have been amplified in recent months.
Dan, thank you for your reporting. Appreciate it.
Thank you.